All right, my trading friends, today is Monday morning, June the 12th, 2023. It's time to review our trading history from last week. All right, let's jump right into it because we've got some cool things that are going on in the trading room right now that I think are value add propositions. We're bringing more unique, different setups, strategies, styles to trading, something for everybody here in the live trading room. So I'm excited to introduce that to you, talk a little bit about it. Let's go through our trades for last week, our major categories that we trade in. I will say that there are some other categories, some subcategories here of trading strategies that we do pretty much week in and week out that are sort of one-off strategies, earnings trades, things like that, that we don't necessarily have a permanent category for here. But I guess the point I want to make is that there's a trade for everybody here. If you're interested in trading, we have a trade that will probably pique your interest. Obviously, one of the big ones that a lot of people like to focus on, one of the trades that's the most popular out there today is the zero DTE trade. We have a couple of unique perspectives with regards to the zero DTE. Number one, we do generally multiple sets of zero DTEs each day. And so you'll see there we've had 119 days of trading opportunities for zero DTEs this year, but we've actually done 200 total zero DTE trades. The more at bats you get, the larger the law of large numbers becomes in terms of your data set, the more confident you become in your successful approach or non-successful approach, as the case may be. But we've got a lot of data under our belt now to sort of know what we should expect. There's not a ton of surprises anymore for us with zero DTE. We've done this for years and years and years. I do think that we are probably the preeminent zero DTE trading room in terms of results, both in terms of win-loss ratios, but also in terms of dollar profits. I think that there's a lot of people gravitating now towards either smaller size zero DTE trades because they understand the volatility of these trades, or they're using strategies like broken wing butterflies or butterflies that even if it works, it's not going to put any substantive amount of money in your pocket. And let's be honest, a butterfly is a gamble. It's not a trade that gives you an edge over the marketplace. You're just simply gambling. So anyway, that's my little pitch for our zero DTE approach. If you're really wanting to look for setups that have a true, honest potential and historical result of being able to put $1,000 or more a day into your pocket, you might want to look at our dynamic approach to trading zero DTEs. We've done 200 so far, 5 losers, 195 winners. We do have one open and rolled trade right now in the NDX that we are still working. One side of that trade has a expiration set for today. So hopefully we can get out at least one side of that trade today. But very happy, very proud with our zero DTE results. We are known as the place that people go for zero DTE trades, but I bristle at the idea that we're a zero DTE trading room. I think that anybody that is charging you money or a subscription fee to be a part of a program and all they're giving you are day trades, zero DTE trades, probably not getting value for your money. No professional trader is going to ever tell you, oh, that's the way to go. Just focus on that one particular strategy. It just is not a professional approach. We do a lot of other things, and one of them is a 4-day to expiration trade. A lot easier to manage than a day trade. You don't have to stare at your computer all day long. We use the SPYs and the Qs, and so they're 1/10 the size of the SPX or the NDX, as the case may be. A little bit easier on your buying power. This is a trade that is probably more appropriate for more people than not with regards to comparing it to a zero DTE versus something that is longer term duration. We've had some tremendous success with those. Absolute blowout knockout results 2 weeks ago with our 4 DTE trades. In an absolute ideal scenario on our 4 DTE trades, we would be bringing in about 10% return a week. That's absolute sort of picture perfect scenario. 2 weeks ago, we were above 13% return. And this past week, we had a full profit. Now, a little bit lower than average on our Qs. We made about almost 6%, just a little lower than 6% after fees and commissions. But again, coming in at about an 11% return on the SPY for last year. So no guarantees, obviously, in any form of trading. But if you've got a strategy that is this consistent and can potentially bring you in 10% a week, it's probably something that you should explore. At least I would think you should at least take a look at it. Our IWM Millionaire Maker trade, we had a roll this past week. We are in a roll right now. We rolled from Friday's expiration to today, Monday's expiration. We're able to bring in a nice credit on that. And again, with the Millionaire Maker trade, we're trying to target 1% a week, about 50% a year ROI. We came in at about 44% return on the Millionaire Maker trade last year. Not a single loser, but you would have those weeks here and there where you just didn't quite hit that 1%. We've been a little bit more dynamic in our trades with the Millionaire Maker this year. It hasn't hurt us in terms of results. In other words, we still haven't, we knew by taking a little bit more dynamic approach that it was going to increase our profit potential, and it has. We're up to about a 1.15 to a 1.3% potential return per week, which doesn't sound like a big difference, but it's, it's 15 to 30% improvement in our potential rates of return. We have seen that actually take place, but we haven't had what we expected we would get, which is a little bit more challenge in managing this trade. It's actually been fine for us. And so you can see that's why we have had 24 trading opportunities, but we've actually done 34 trades. We are in the roll right now this week. It does expire today. It looks pretty solid right now. I'm just taking a look at it as we speak. The IWM is at 185.50. Looks like that's where it's going to open up at this morning. Our strikes are 183 and 189. So it should finish fully profitable. That would give us about a 1.9, almost a 2% return for the past week. So we are tracking very, very close to a 60% ROI on this strategy this year. I did a video a little while ago on someone that was looking to say, hey, and this was their strategy, their goal, their question. Can I retire on $30,000 of capital? And one of the trades that they were doing was the IWM Millionaire Maker trade. And, if you can build out a decent sized portfolio that is well diversified with that $30,000 and you're making 50% a year, that's $15,000. That's not probably enough to retire, but man, it's a good start for a lot of people. So this has obviously been one of our stalwart. It's really, really tough to find a trade that you like more than a trade that has never incurred a single solitary loss since we have been trading it for the last 3 years here in this program, and comes in pretty much year after year after year at about 50% a year return. It's been a good trade for us. And obviously it's one of our more popular trades. Other trades that we're working on, pairs trades. We have 2 really solid pairs trades working right now. We need to add 1 or 2 more, but I'd like to kind of get these to the finish line. Now, one of them is PFE and GSK. That one is something that we're cash flowing it right now, selling covered puts and covered calls against it. I don't know that we're going to exit that trade anytime in the near future. We are just going to continue to cash flow that. I do think that it could come in somewhere around a 60 to 80% ROI over a year's period of time. It's, I think, going to be our most successful pairs trade that we've ever done. So that's probably not going away anytime soon. We're probably going to keep working that trade going forward. And then we have an IWM and a Q pairs trade that almost clicked into the profit the other day. We're going to continue to ratio that and work that a little bit today, in fact. But so far, so good. Going on 2 years now with our pairs trades, and not a single losing pairs trade. And the other thing that I will say is that while it is a little bit slower moving trade, it can take 30 to 60 days, and we average 2 to 10% return on those. You can start those trades with a couple $100. Buying power is never an issue with those. And there's not a lot of trades that you can do that are not affected by the stock market's movements. The Dow could crash by 1,000 points today. That has no effect on our pairs trades. It is not dependent on the market doing certain things, going up, going down, what have you. So I think that pairs trades are a vital strategy that should be a part of everybody's portfolio. I don't know that there's anybody that can look at it and say, nah, that doesn't really fit what I'm trying to target as a trader or investor. Bear market strategies, we're still not doing any more of those because we're waiting for the market to sort of flatten out and give us a signal that it's headed back down again. But as things continue to push higher, we do get more potential opportunities in this category because things get a little bit more overstretched. So while we haven't done too many of these this year, they've been a great trade for us. Obviously, every one of them ended up being a winner for us. And I think that we're getting closer and closer to being able to implement a couple more of those. Stock market millionaire maker trade. We are working PayPal and Netflix in that category right now. We're currently chasing the Netflix trade, but fortunately, we've been able to adjust it each time at a credit. We're going to be working on that trade again today. And our PayPal trade, well, we had to chase that a little bit. Oh, it looks just primed right now. And so we're out a month or so on both of these trades, whereas usually we're only out 1 to 2 weeks. So we'll be doing a few little fine tunes on our Netflix trade setup today. But the PayPal trade looks absolutely solid. And that's a trade that we were originally projecting and looking at it at the start of this year and said that, you know, maybe we could bring in 2 to 3% a month on this, 36% a year return. We would be very happy with something like that. The PayPal trade right now is tracking closer to 45% ROI. So pretty happy with those, although obviously we've had to chase the Netflix trade as of late. But that's fine. That's the nature of trading. We don't ever know exactly what the market is going to do, but we're prepared to respond. Positive Vega DIA ladders. I've been saying this now for 3, 4, 5 weeks that these easy peasy trades that we have had with the DIA, these trades have been set it and forget it and make 9 to 11% a month after month after month. I mean, you're making 10% a month, almost 120% of your annualized potential APR on these trades, and we haven't had to look at them a second time. They just self-manage. They've been really, really, like I say, easy peasy. And for the last 3 to 4 weeks, 5 weeks, I've said, hey, that's probably going to go away. The Dow has been pretty much flat all year long, and it looks like the industrials are starting to wake up a little bit here. So we are not in a position right now with our DIA ladders where we have to chase any of our open positions, but I think that we very well could be here in the next few weeks. So we are taking obviously proactive steps with regards to that and widening out the strike zones that we're placing these trades, the setups at. But obviously, it's been a great trade for us this year. One of our lowest maintenance trades, and highest rates of return. It's pretty tough to beat 10% a month. Our portfolio margin strategy. Okay, so I'm excited to get this kicked off. Now, we got it kicked off a little late this month. I did not get the portfolio margin permissioning done with Tasty Trade as quickly as I thought, and they didn't release the funds, the $300,000 of funds that I transferred into the account as quickly as I had hoped for either. So I was hoping to start at the very first of this month. Instead, we got started on the 5th of this month with just a couple of our strategies. There's 5 strategies that we use inside of the portfolio margin setup. There's $300,000 of capital that's committed to that, and our goal is to make about $16,000 a month, about $200,000 a year. Can we bring in $200,000 a year in income off of a $300,000 account? So far, I will say that we are well ahead of schedule. Now, I've done this setup personally in my largest account for years. So I kind of know what to expect with this. And you'll have months that are $22,000 to $25,000 months. You'll have months that are $4,000 or $5,000 months. But $16,000 a month goal, $200,000 a year is, I think, fairly accurate and not overly optimistic. And right now, so far, we started on 6.5. And we are down now through almost 2 full weeks in the year. We are sitting right now very close to $11,000 of profit that we brought in on this strategy. Obviously, we have another half of a month to go. So far, so good. It looks really, really solid. It's not for everybody. Not everybody has $300,000 to invest. I understand that. We've got a pairs trade you can do for $200. So it doesn't matter how little or much money you have. We do have a strategy for everybody here. But I think that, maybe $200,000 a year is not enough for all of us to say, hey, that would be enough for me to live the lifestyle that I desire. Well, it's a good start. It's a good start. And we're not talking about needing millions to generate that. We're talking about $300,000. Okay. Scalping. I'm going to give a big pitch for scalping once again, primarily, well, because we had a good week last week, but also I think this week with PPI and CPI numbers and FOMC and job numbers coming out on Friday, if this isn't a good week for scalping, I don't know what is. This should be a awesome opportunity for us this week. Last week was good. Tuesday, $1,380 profit for me. Thursday was $830 profit, but I carried forward 5 contracts on the E-mini, and I cash flow those on Sunday evening as the futures opened up. Cash flowed them again here this morning as well. So those are still building. The income from that trade is still building. We endeavor to trade the E-minis, futures contracts. They're worth $50 a point. We try to get 10 to 20 points out of that contract each day that we scalp. That equates to $500 to $1,000 of profit. If you are already trading, if you're dedicated to trading, why the heavens not would you not be scalping and maximize your time in front of your computer? And heck, maybe you put an extra $500 to $1,000 in your pocket too. No guarantees, of course. That's how trading works. Dragonflies. We're back on the Dragonfly once again with the BA trade. It was a little ill-timed when we put that on. It was the very day that they came out with, I think it was the 787 Dreamliner that was having some additional problems, but the stocks bounced back from that quite nicely. I'm looking at our BA trade here, And we put it on as we usually do with about 2 weeks of life. It was about a 15-day trade. I got $4,093 in the trade with a $300 profit potential. That's about where these usually come in. It's actually a little bit low, to be honest, but about 8% every 2 weeks, about 16% a month, about 200% of your potential ROI on these. We've not had a single losing Dragonfly trade this year, although we've had to adjust pretty much every darn single one of them. But that's when you're shooting for 200% a year returns, you're gonna get some adjustments. That's not gonna be a trade that you set and forget. So it's been a really good trade for us. Really good setup. If you're not familiar with the Dragonfly setup, I think it's vastly superior than an Iron Condor. There's some cool things that we do in our trading room here that are not necessarily proprietary to us, because I didn't necessarily invent them, but you're not going to see them in a lot of other places. The Dragonfly trade is one of those. The Theta Fairy trade is the next one. If you hear about a Theta Fairy trade, yeah, that name originated with us. We should have trademarked it because now lots of people are using it. But this is a trade that is on average adding $20,000 to $40,000 a year of passive income to our trading members. If you do one contract, it brings in about $20,000 a year. This is what it has brought in. No predictions, no guarantees for the future, but that is our actual real world results. These are not theoretical. These are not paper trades. We are literally bringing in $20,000 a year in passive income overnight as we sleep with this setup per contract. So we've got some people that are doing 2 contracts. With the portfolio margin strategy now added, I'm doing 5 of these. So for example, on Thursday, brought in $500 of income on that trade. $500 a day of income. Again, it's not the end all be all. It's not something that you're going to run out and go quit your day job on. But I don't think a lot of trading rooms out there would give you the confidence to say, yeah, I can wake up every morning with an extra $100 in my pocket as we start the day. This has been tremendously successful for us. We're doing way worse with our Theta Fairy this year than we did last year. Last year, we had 2 losing trades on about 200 iterations of the trade, 99% success rate. We've got 2 losers to 104 winners so far this year. And those losers are like $300. One of these I took was about $220. So you're bringing in $100 a day. We're risking 300. It's been a great trade for us. This one solitary trade right here, we have members in our trading room. That's all they do. That's all they do. And they're like, hey, if I can make an extra, $2,000 a month, $1,500 a month, and that's going to happen for me overnight while I sleep and I don't have to sit in front of my computer all day long, sign me up. So again, no guarantees, but I love that trade. I think everybody in our trading room loves that trade. Our gold ladders, we have had some really good success with our gold ladders the last few weeks. That has been cash flowing so nice for us. I'll just give you a quick little estimate here. When we initially set up this gold strategy at the start of this year, we were looking for 1.5% a week potential cash flow if the trade worked. Right now, I've got $8,948 in the gold ladder, and I've got $924 of extrinsic sitting out there. Going out 18 days. If you do the quick math on that, that's a lot better than 1.5%. We had our best week ever in gold 2 weeks ago, a solid week last week, and we are looking this week to have a really important week, meaning one of our ladders may potentially expire fully profitable. And then as we reset that, we can reset it at whatever strike we want, rather than what we've had to do lately, which is we are confined or constrained by setting our rolls and adjustments at the strike levels that the market dictates. So we are on track this week, knock on wood. It's obviously Monday morning, very early still in the week, but on track to have another big week. in gold. The overnight vampire trade. We have another overnight vampire trade coming up this week, this Thursday, and I'm kind of optimistic about this week's iteration of the vampire trade. We have obviously had some really good success with this. It should have been 5 wins out of 5 trades. That was my fault. That was our bad as traders. We were at a 60-70% capture rate before the market even closed. And of course, like dummies, we were too greedy and we didn't take that profit, which we should have. And then it ended up being a loser for us. But it has been a great successful trade for us other than that sort of operator error version. But the last 2 go-arounds, the premium has been so poor that I did 1 whopping contract. So in a trade that we've done previously where I've brought in $10,000, we were bringing in a couple $100. So it was still a good trade. But I'm cautiously optimistic that this week's iteration should give us the IV potential to be able to put a substantive trade together. So we'll see what that looks like on Thursday. Our oil ladder trade, we had an amazing week last week with our oil ladders by basically not doing much. We were disciplined, we were patient, and we sat on our hands for a lot of the week. There were a couple days last week we could have been very knee-jerk reactionary with our oil ladder and tried to fix and adjust and enhance the ladders that we had open. But we looked technically and we were like, we don't like the movement that we're seeing, but it feels okay in terms of technical levels. They ended up being fully profitable for us. We also added another ladder that even with today's movement, oil down $1.55 right now as we get news out this morning that Iran and Russia are still pumping like crazy in spite of what OPEC and Saudi Arabia is doing with their voluntary cuts. We're well positioned on that. We are well positioned on that. So knowing the news, doing your research, man, it helps. Of all of our ladder trades, the oil trade has the highest potential rate of return. Also means it's the most volatile one. That's why we have 4 losers out of 32 trades. But it's been good the last little bit. Our in-the-money cover trades, they just continue to cash flow. We're chasing one right now, which is our Tesla trade. But I think we've got some pretty easy, low buying power adjustments that we can throw at that today. And that's what we're all about here, is dynamically trading and adjusting as things don't work out the way we intended it to, which, by the way, that happens. That happens in the marketplace. But we have not had to take a single solitary loss on any of our in-the-money cover trades. I'm really excited. It's a little daunting, I think, mentally for me to think at the end of the year, going through and adding up all of the setups that we've done in the money strategy category. But I think that most people, I love it when the reaction that we get at the end of the year reviewing our results is, there's no way it could be that good. There's no way you guys could have had that success. I love it because everything we do is documented. So this has been a great trade for us. We do have 2 in the money trades right now that we are looking to do some different things with. Number 1, as I said, is Tesla. We need to work the Tesla trade as it continues to push up. And number 2 is our coin trade. It's been tremendously successful for us, but coin getting into some legal waters that may not bode well for the stock going forward. On our coin in the money trade, again, it's been an absolutely phenomenal trade, but we're covered on that trade in the money out to June 30th, 18 days. I think after that June 30th date comes and goes, we might let that just get called away, reset with a new setup. So it's been good for us, obviously. You can't get much better than 50 winners and 0 losers. Broken wing butterflies, we haven't added a new one there. We do still have one that is working, and so we'll see what that looks like here this next week. Short portfolio, we closed that all out. booked a very nice profit on that. We'll look to find some new shorting opportunities here in the not so distant future and reinitiate that short portfolio. That was a fun thing to do. It only took $3,800 of buying power. No commission fees. We were just shorting shares. Very straightforward trades. XSP flies. Once we get out of the rolled 0 DTE NDX trade that we're in, we will be able to come back to our XPS flies. Those are a lot of fun. Haven't done one in a while because we only put profits in there. We only put profits in there. And as long as we're in a rolled 0 DTE, we don't have the profits to put in there. We've never lost a single penny of our own money in a butterfly. I don't know there's anybody else that can say that because we don't put our money in there. We only put profits. Principal is never, ever put at risk in a butterfly that we do. TradingBinaryIdeas.com. Holy smoke, this has been so well received in our trading room. It is so fun. It is so awesome. Event contracts. We're going to be doing 3 new ones of these this week. I think you should look at potentially joining our live trading room just to see what we're doing with these binary contracts. I think it's so fun. You can go check it out yourself if you want to. Just go to tradingbinaryideas.com. You can sign up for free there. If you do a trade, they will give you $15. So I would recommend your first trade be $15, and you get your first trade free. So what's not to like about it? No cost, no obligation there. I love it. Tradingbinaryideas.com. Our ATM program. Now that's our investing program. Asymmetric trading method. It is a asset allocation model that is passive in nature, and we're trying to beat the S&P 500 on a yearly return basis, and we're trying to do it with less risk. We have shorting positions in there. We have hedges so that if the market does come down, we're a little bit more protected than if you were just in a long portfolio, that kind of stuff. We trounced the market in 2021. We did even better percentage-wise results in 2022 when the market was down, and we're hanging in there so far this year. We've got a lot of potential extrinsic value built up in this portfolio. We've just, again, been chasing a couple of our positions, and we haven't been able to actually realize that profit. But I am still very comfortable that no matter how well the S&P 500 does this year, we got a pretty darn good shot at beating it. And again, this is a passive account. It takes 5 minutes every morning. Put in your allocations and you're done for the day. So that's our results for last week. Pretty solid week. Had a lot of our members in our trading room say that they had hit new highs in their trading accounts. That's always gratifying to hear. If you do want to come trade with us live, I believe we have the best online trading group anywhere online today. Come trade with us. Come see the unique setups that we do. Come see how we get these results. And you can do so by going to tradelivewithus.com. Easy way to get started with this. We have 4 hours of training that we put you through. We have a one-on-one Zoom session, strategy session with me, where we'll make sure all your questions are answered. We'll make sure you understand how to find the training videos, each one of our trading strategies. And we're going to lay out a game plan for you. And you're going to check in with me every single day over that first month as you get started. And if you go through all of that and you don't agree with me at the end of that first 30 days that it's not the most amazing trading room out there, I'll give you twice your monthly subscription back. No questions asked. Never had a single person go through all of that process and say, no, I don't think you're right. I don't think it is the most amazing trading room. So come check it out for yourself. See what you think. If you are more attuned to investing rather than trading, and you want a passive approach that only takes 5 minutes a day, try ATM for free. We've got a 2-week free trial that you can get into our model portfolio, our asset allocation room, see how we set up our portfolio and how we manage it. If you want to scalp with us, we do scalp live every Tuesday and Thursday. And you can join us with that by just going to tryscalpingnow.com. So thank you guys so much for your support. It was a great week last week. We're hoping to continue that success this week. We got some great things lined up, and man, knock on wood, I'm hoping that we can come in maybe as high as $25,000 income this month on our portfolio margin account. We'll see. We still got a lot of month left to go, but I really appreciate you guys. Got together yesterday with my family and we celebrated some success that my brother had in his life. And it really does ultimately come down to the relationships that we build with each other. That's ultimately why we're here. I'm grateful for the relationships that I've built in the trading community. I hope you guys all have an awesome, awesome trading week this week. And